Shand, and I am the Livingston County Field Representative for U.S. Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin. First, I just want to say that the Congresswoman sends her regards. She really wishes that she could be here today with you, but she was committed to another event. But she just wants to thank Cleary so much for hosting this event and for everything that you do for the community and to keep Dr. King's dream alive. So I've been asked to talk about the topic of political unity. And I know that probably sounds like an oxymoron today more than ever. After all, I think it's safe to say that as we gather here today, this is a period during American political and social life that historians are going to be talking about for decades to come. When I think about what's happening right now on the political front, the quote from Dr. King that most rings true for me is this one: "We must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools." I believe that today, each one of us in this room, we need to decide which path we're going to choose. Before we talk about what political unity is, what it could be, I'd like to tell you a story from my life to illustrate what it is not. My parents are both immigrants. They came to this country seeking political and religious freedom. In their home country, as Christians, in part of a very small Christian minority, their religion meant that they had no vote, no voice, no power. In their homeland, there was one way to be. There was one set of beliefs, one group that controlled everything. No debate, no disagreement. That is false unity. Sometimes we confuse unity with oneness. So as ironic as it may sound, my parents came here seeking the kind of unity that can only be found in diversity of thought and diversity of opinion. So political unity does not mean that everyone believes the same thing. It doesn't mean that we don't have political parties. We know that in fact some level of disagreement is crucial to our political system because it allows us to see that there are strong cases to be made on both sides. Our differences in political opinion serve as a valuable check against totalitarian power of one group or people, and we would do well to respect those differences. The question then becomes, how do we find unity? As someone who has knocked on a whole lot of doors, made a lot of phone calls, and talked to a whole lot of people about politics, here's what I firmly believe, even today. We have more in common than not. We as Americans agree on issues deeper than our polarization would lead you to believe. When you strip away the rhetoric, the us versus them, the disinformation and the misinformation, most of us want the exact same things. We want to live in safety and security, and we want opportunity. So how do we heal that partisan divide? There are many ways that we can accomplish the same goals, and we're allowed to, and we should be encouraged to disagree about them. The problem is that right now, on many issues, we're failing to even have a civil conversation, or even an honest conversation. So here's my challenge to you as we work together for political unity. The first thing you need to do, everyone in this room, if you are age 18 or over, is promise me that you will vote in every single election. Can you all promise me that? Thank you. That is our right, it is our responsibility, and it is our refuge from the storm. We also have to ensure that all those who are entitled to vote are able to. We know that so many are still disenfranchised, and that in this day and age is absolutely unacceptable. We have to promise each other that we will not deliberately try to misunderstand, mislead, misinform each other, put each other down, or be cruel. We must be careful and thoughtful about the information that we take in and what we put out to the world. We should be considering how to support candidates who place governance ahead of partisanship, and we must hold elected officials and media figures and ourselves to a higher level of civility. I want to leave you with one last quote from Dr. King. At one of his final speeches, he told the audience that if God had let him choose any era in which to live, he would have chosen the one in which he had landed. Now that's a strange statement to make, he said, because the world is all messed up. The nation is sick. Trouble is in the land. Confusion is all around. But I know somehow that only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. Thank you.